between the security perimeter around the fence and the control room. They took a shot at a guard. They walked past all of the CCTV cameras that are supposed to be monitoring all the boundary areas for the plant, and nobody noticed because nobody was watching those. And whoopsie, they ended up armed in the nuclear plant's control room. The fiance got hit with an iron bar and was injured, and otherwise they apparently got scared and ran off with computers, but nothing else. Now, Helen Dava says that it's no big deal, and they fired the 2 guys who were supposed to be watching those security cameras when the teams of armed gunmen walked right past and nobody said beep. But other than that, what? We're a model facility. And all of this to say, all of these cocktail party ready anecdotes to say, I think is that Murphy's Law applies everywhere. What can go wrong will go wrong. A.Q. Khan is a Pakistani known proliferator of nuclear materials and bomb-making equipment. He's the guy who sold Libya blueprints for how to make a small, tidy nuclear bomb. He's the guy who's probably the reason that North Korea's gone nuclear and Iran is so close. He got caught, A.Q. Khan got caught doing all that. His international nuclear smuggling ring was exposed. Pakistan let him out of his horrible punishment for that, which was house arrest, last year. Our own Air Force in August 2007 accidentally loaded 6 armed nuclear missiles onto a bomber in North Dakota and flew them to Louisiana, where they sat, fully armed nuclear missiles on a runway. They sat on the plane on a runway for hours with no one knowing where those 6 nuclear missiles were, until one of the bomber crew in Barksdale, in Louisiana, while walking around the plane for a totally unrelated reason, said, "Hey, I think those are fully armed nuclear missiles. What are those doing here?" Whoopsie. What can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law applies. We do stuff like accidentally dropping nuclear bombs all the time. We store the materials that Al-Qaeda would really, really enjoy using to end the world, or any other number of other groups that we don't know about yet. We store the materials they would really enjoy using to end the world under the watchful eye of drug-addicted, hungry, underpaid guards who live in a smuggling town and who are being aggressively recruited by Muslim extremist groups. Stuff happens. For the purposes of the F5 festival, it would probably be best to leave it there, to leave it at that and just say, that's how the world might end. Ta-da! To be a little less abrupt and maybe a little less arty and a little more designy about it. It seems to me like there's 2 ways to respond to what you may find alarming about this little child's treasury of nuclear accidents that I have shared with you this bright morning. I mean, you can try to fix all of these things, and people do work on that. For example, there's a Nuclear Cities initiative funded essentially like as if it's an American charity. And if you look at their newsletter online, it's spectacular. It's like, in closed Nuclear City X, we've got them working on pharmaceutical packaging now. In closed Nuclear City Y, they're commercializing barcode technology at the old ICBM plant. That'll keep them from trying to sell a plutonium bowling ball for $15 million. They're so busy now. We've got them working industriously on not ending the world sort of stuff. You can try to fix these things. You can upgrade the safety at research reactors that have highly enriched uranium. It's being worked on. You can try to make the job of taking care of nuclear missiles a more prestigious job in our own Air Force, so you don't end up with dudes literally accidentally flying Fat Man and Little Boy to Shreveport and nobody noticing for 36 hours. You can try to fix these things, and we have to do that. It's the end of the world, right? But you can also live by Murphy's Law. I mean, I think there is sort of a design lesson here. Don't design an adversary standoff strategy that requires 12 to 24 aerial refuelings a day of planes that are loaded with live nuclear bombs. What can go wrong will go wrong. Don't orchestrate international systems in which you say it's only the most privileged, most civilized, most powerful, most respected nations that are allowed to have nuclear weapons. In a world full of ambitious countries, what could possibly go wrong with a system like that? 20 years after the collapse of the Soviet Union, don't leave Russia and the United States with literally thousands of live nuclear missiles on hair trigger alert, aimed at each other still today, while working in the nuclear weapons side of the military isn't a very prestigious job anymore. And as the missiles age, the technology that aims them and that controls whether or not they get shot sort of looks like Atari. That's a design flaw. It's a bad system. What can go wrong will go wrong. Don't keep producing more highly enriched uranium when apparently Novosibirsk and Georgia are awash in it, as they are awash in hungry smugglers. And don't promote nuclear power as a solution to global warming when the inconvenient byproduct of manufacturing nuclear power is radioactive nuclear waste that we have no idea what to do with, and that is the ideal raw material for starting the process of making a nuclear weapon, or the ideal raw material that needs no processing whatsoever to make a dirty bomb. Don't do it. It's a design flaw. It's a bad idea. Don't make a new class of nuclear weapons. We are doing just fine dropping and losing the thousands we've already got, thank you very much. There's a queue of about 4,000 old nuclear weapons waiting to be decommissioned at a place in Texas called Pantex.